as a longtime fan of the Harper family and Charlie Harper in particular. I must admit that the finale of Two and a Half Men left me feeling more like I had been run over by a piano than finding it amusing or satisfying. The way they handled Charlie's character, especially after the vindictive ending he received, uh, felt like a slap in the face to the viewers who loved him as much as I did Tools. The final episode of the show, Two and a Half Men, which debuted in 2003, is considered one of the most disappointing endings in television history. And I'm still frustrated by it nearly a decade on what at its start, Two and a Half Men followed the life of free-spirited bachelor Charlie Harper, portrayed by Charlie Sheen, whose world is flipped when his nerdy brother Alan John Cryer is forced out by his wife and takes refuge in Charlie's guest room from as their bond deepens and they welcome 10-year-old son Jake into the picture. Charlie undergoes a transformation from carefree bachelor to caring family man. After 12 seasons and 262 episodes, the sitcom Two and a Half Men uh, underwent significant changes. Jake, once a central character, had grown up and moved out. Unfortunately, Charlie, another main character, met an untimely end due to creative differences between Sheen and series creator Chuck Lorre. Subsequently, Ashton Kutcher stepped into the lead role portraying Walden Schmidt, a tech billionaire who bought the house following Charlie's demise, yet allowed Alan to continue residing there. Over 4 years with Kutcher as the main cast member, the show ended on one of the most disappointing series finales that I still find hard to accept, even in today. PHNS the finale of Two and a Half Men is much darker and more mean-spirited than the average sitcom finale. And the Friends, Schitt's Creek, and Parks and Recreation finales are dedicated to closing that chapter of the characters' lives and leaving them all in a good place. The final episode of The Office is a celebration of the show's past and how far all the characters have come. Um, Laurie's next hit sitcom, The Big Bang Theory, ends with Sheldon receiving the Nobel Prize and using his speech to thank all his friends. The final episodes of most sitcoms are heartfelt tributes to their audience, yet the ending for Two and a Half Men seemed more like a slap in the face. Contrastingly, Seinfeld concludes with a touch of cynicism, but it doesn't undermine the authentic character development of the main characters. Instead, it aligns perfectly with the series' overall tone and demeanor. Initially, Two and a Half Men was filled with an abundance of sentimentality. I found Charlie's initial scenes with Jake particularly moving. However, in the finality, wasn't even a trace of that emotional depth left. However, the oddity in the finale of Two and a Half Men might be due to some off-camera conflict. Towards the 8th season, there was a significant rift between Sheen and the show's creator, Lorre. This led to a premature end of the season, and Sheen being let go, only to be replaced by Kutcher as Two and a Half Men moved forward with a new lead actor. The tension between Sheen and Lorre persisted in his subsequent sitcom Anger Management. Sheen made reference to this dispute in a scene where he directly addressed the audience about it. When it was time for Two and a Half Men to conclude, Laurie chose to rekindle those old disagreements. And in the final episode, there were numerous nods to the events surrounding my firing. And it felt like they resurrected the fictional me, just to settle a dispute. The actor, the storyline concludes with a character who resembles me approaching the house, pressing the doorbell, only to have a piano come crashing down on his head. As the scene unfolds, the camera reveals the director, Laurie, seated in a chair. He turns towards the camera and sarcastically echoes my famous catchphrase, winning, followed swiftly by another piano falling on his head. In the end, the finale of Two and a Half Men seemed less about wrapping up a 12-year narrative or providing resolution to beloved characters for longtime fans. Instead, it was more about Chuck Lorre seeking retaliation against Charlie Sheen. And as a fan who cherished Harper family and yearned for closure, I found myself quite upset by this turn of events. In the early seasons, I adored Charlie Harper as a character. So seeing him written off in such a seemingly vengeful manner, and for the second time, felt disrespectful. After their high-profile disagreement off-screen during a run of Two and a Half Men, Sheen and Laurie have reconciled and collaborated once more. And now Sheen can be seen in Laurie's fresh comedy series on Max titled Bookie. In this show, Sebastian Maniscalco